You're listening to the mother of all talk shows with me, gorgeous George Galloway. Give me a call if you would like me to put all the country's political problems to right. If you would be interested in hearing my solutions to all the world's ills, or if you would like me just to be the cat.
George Galloway serves as perhaps the most unique, diverse, and comical British politician in recent memory. From a celebrity Big Brother impersonation of a cat, bizarre fashion sense, and gorgeous George's nickname, it would be easy to misunderstand Galloway as a joke politician, similar to the infamous satirical London mayoral candidate Count Binface. However, as recently as February 2024, Galloway was elected once again, this time as MP for Rochdale, his seventh stint as a Member of Parliament. So, who is Galloway, and what history does he have in British politics? Born in Dundee, Galloway's youth was as political as his later years. He joined the Youth Labour Party aged 13, having falsely claimed to have been 15 years old, the age at which he vowed to never shave his moustache, and was still a teenager when he became the secretary of the Dundee Labour Party. At the age of 26, Galloway was the youngest ever chairman of the Scottish Labour Party, during which he publicly supported the Communist Party of Great Britain, an act that nearly saw him fired, and a suggestion that in order to overcome a £1.5 million deficit in Dundee's city budget, he should be publicly put in stocks, and the public charged 20 pence per turn to throw buckets of water on him. Following a few years in which he attempted to find constituencies to stand in, it was the 1987 general election that allowed Galloway to be elected as an MP for Glasgow Hillhead for the first time. Almost immediately, Galloway was embroiled in scandal. After being asked about his time spent at a charity conference on the island of Mykonos, Galloway responded with this: "I travelled to and spent time in Greece with lots of people, many of whom were women, some of whom were known carnally to me. I actually had sexual intercourse with some of these people in Greece. And if the British public and BBC Scotland think that's of interest, they are welcome to broadcast it." This bizarre admittal to an affair led to front-page headlines, the gaining of the nickname Gorgeous George, and the separation of his first marriage.
Well, I really don't think that there are many constituents out there who want an apology from me because I had an affair with someone long before I asked them to vote for me.
Keeley, it put Galloway in the forefront of British politics, and for the 16 years as an MP in Glasgow, he regularly found himself being discussed by the British media, such as after his arrest during an anti-nuclear weapons protest,
Massive waste of money!
or his statement of, "I don't give a fuck what Tony Blair thinks," in response to then SNP leader Alex Salmond. Some of the strongest criticism Galloway faced came after a trip to the Middle East, in which he met Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein. A strong opponent to the Gulf War, Galloway took the opportunity to show his deep respect to the leader.
Sir, I salute your courage, your strength, your indefatigability.
سيدي اسمحوا لي أن أحيي شجاعتكم وقوتكم وصمودكم الذي لا يكلأ.
And I want you to know that we are with you. Hatal Nasser, Hatal Nasser, Hatal Quds.
The subsequent fallout from this speech was massive, which was labelled foolish by John Smith, the then leader of the Labour Party. Galloway later said he was saluting the Iraqi people, not Saddam Hussein himself, an excuse that few believed. Following this incident, he was given a final warning by the Labour chief whip. It was Galloway's response to the invasion of Iraq that saw his eventual expulsion from the Labour Party. After an interview in which he encouraged British troops to disobey military orders, comments Tony Blair called disgraceful and wrong. Galloway, spurned by a
Motivated kangaroo court.
would later label President George Bush as the world's biggest terrorist, claiming that both Bush and Blair had far more blood on their hands than the terrorists that had carried out the London 7/7 bombings and the New York 9/11 attack. The Iraq War has stuck with Galloway his entire career, and is often a leading topic of argument whenever he debates any politician.
You killed a million people in Iraq.
It's certainly true that the invasion of Iraq and the subsequent horrors it's inflicted on the people and infrastructure within Iraq was a tragedy, and it can be argued that Galloway was right to stand up. However, The prelude and eventual invasion of Iraq saw many politicians from all sides unite in opposition against the invasion, and it was only really Galloway that suffered political annexation. Galloway attempted to fix this issue with the creation of his own party, the Respect Party, a coalition consisting of red, green, anti-war, Muslim, and other social constituencies radicalised by the war. One of the many aspects that sets Galloway apart from most British politicians is his blatant obsession and apparent respect for Middle Eastern and Islamic culture, a staunch defender of Palestinian and Iraqi rights, as well as having a deep interest and appreciation of Muslim traditions and cultures, which includes 2 Muslim marriages. Galloway has used this unique political perspective multiple times. While supposedly extremely left-wing, his strong opposition to abortion, gay marriage, and gay parenting have been seen as attempts to unify himself with the less socially liberal British Muslim population. His win in the 2012 Bradford West by-election for the Respect Party was directly linked to Islamic and Middle Eastern links, after accusing his rival candidate for lacking Islamic values and even having extremist Islamic groups support his candidacy. It was during his stint as MP for Bradford that saw Galloway go on Celebrity Big Brother, in which he pretended to be a cat on national television. Upon being voted out, Galloway was shown the British media's reaction to his antics, one of the only moments that he's ever been seen to be speechless.
Last night it was more contempt than respect. There were boos and insults as he became the 4th celebrity to be evicted from the Big Brother house. When he was shown some of the negative newspaper reaction to his participation in the reality show, the MP was, for a moment, uncharacteristically lost for words.
George, I see you biting your lip nervously there.
Oh dear.
His later 2004 win in Rochdale was also solely linked to the Middle East, specifically the Israel-Gaza conflict, with Galloway being perhaps the most prominent anti-Israel politician in Britain. While the Rochdale election was unique in its circumstances, as it was formerly a Labour stronghold, only to have Labour denounce its candidate a month before the election, it does show that Galloway's combative and charismatic style can still work in contemporary politics.
The Prime Minister has just said that your election of you to Parliament is beyond horrifying. What do you say to that?
However, Galloway's strong anti-Israel stance has been seen by some to be racist or xenophobic. Galloway outright refuses to debate Israelis, literally walking out on multiple occasions.
Requires. We wanted peace, we got war, we mustn't make the same mistake again. So my first point, only a peace treaty can provide a framework for enduring peace and security. I'm sorry, Mr. Galloway?
You said we. Are you an Israeli?
I am, yes.
I don't debate with Israelis. I've been misled. Sorry.
What? Racism? What? Racism?
I don't recognise Israel, and I don't debate with Israelis.
He's a person. He's Britain. I'm a human being.
Overall, Galloway exists as a political unicorn. His unique views, outlooks, and perspectives are matched only by his eccentricity, and while it can be said that Galloway is continually laughable...
Are you tired of the cat jokes?
Well, I'd rather be a cat than a poodle.
and how bizarre and outspoken he is, it should ultimately be remembered that the influence and platforms he is continually offered can create and inspire others. Whether you agree with Galloway or not, his escape from the common boredom of British politics is remarkable as much as it is potentially dangerous.
I don't think the youth of today will look at him and think, wow, politics is great.